with Kyle Kurtzer completing his maiden double 100 and Andrew Hall reaching his third ton in his last 4 LV County Championship games. Northamptonshire were left in a dominant position at the halfway stage of their latest encounter with Leicestershire at Grace Road. The second division leaders had a great first day in which they made 320 for 4 with Kurtzer on 150 and Hall on 65, and they were soon adding to what was already a challenging total, especially Hall, who started the morning in a bit of a hurry. This Leicestershire attack must now have been sick and tired of bowling at him. Last month he saw out 5 hours in the reverse fixture in securing the first of this summer's hundreds. And his third arrived after only 35 minutes of play, in which he'd faced just 32 balls, as he drilled Alex Wyatt through the covers for his 16th boundary off his 144th delivery. The busiest of anyone at Grace Road during this partnership would have been the ball boys, had they had such a thing. The runs were now coming at quite a lick. So it was with some relief that, in the 12th over of the day, Nathan Buck had Hall held in the covers by Jigger Nake to see the South African out for 103, which had been made in a 5th wicket partnership of 175 with Kurtzer. The Scot was still there and had by now advanced his total along to 166, but with the aggressive Hall now gone, Kurtzer started to open up a bit himself. He didn't quite do enough to earn his side maximum batting points. Northamptonshire fell just 5 runs short of that, but this shot did take the batsman to the highest score of his first-class career of 173. He then made very steady progress as he neared his 200, a score he reached for the first time ever 10 minutes before lunch, as he tucked Michael Thornley off his legs and made the most of a missed field and jogged back for the 2 runs he needed. In doing so, he became the 8th man in the championship to register a double ton this summer. Kurtzer had needed 371 balls for his in an innings which had lasted to date 4 minutes under 8 hours. And he hadn't finished there either. He and James Middlebrook then set about the Leicestershire bowling after the lunch break as Northamptonshire readied themselves for a declaration at some point in the afternoon. Of course, they had every right to bat on. After all, they'd been inserted on the previous morning after losing the toss, and how they'd now taken full advantage of that as Kurtzer and Middlebrook added another 100 runs for the 6th wicket to take the total up to 475. Finally, after 503 minutes at the crease and after hitting 36 fours and 1 6, Kurtzer was dismissed for 219 when he nicked his 402nd delivery behind to give Wyatt his 3rd wicket. Still, Leicestershire were kept out in the field on a breezy day. Middlebrook added to their pain by scoring his 3rd 50 of the summer. He'd required 82 balls for this one, and he got there with his 7th 4, a perfectly placed slog sweep off Jigger Nake. Some more lusty blows took Northamptonshire to 500 by the end of the 139th over, but that was still not enough for Alex Wakely, who now had Stephen Crook to throw the bat. His exceptional form with the Willow continued too. Having got himself in, he set about the bowling of Nake and thumped him for 2 successive 6s, as the all-rounder raced to 47 off only 36 balls, adding a further 92 runs in only 14 overs with Middlebrook, who'd made a season's best 84 when he holed out off Rob Taylor. The declaration followed with Northamptonshire making a massive 567 for 7 from 147 overs. So Leicestershire's first job was to now bat out the 10 overs they had before tea. Instead, their former Northamptonshire player Niall O'Brien gloved a short delivery from David Willey to David Murphy before he'd scored. And then Greg Smith was brilliantly held on his follow-through by Lee Daggett, who was finally given his chance in the team now that Trent Copeland has headed back down under. This was certainly not the start the home side were looking for. Needing 418 runs just to avoid the follow-on, they'd quickly slipped to 19 for 2 in the first 22 balls of their reply. Ned Eckersley, one of the county's few success stories this summer, and Joe Burns did at least see their side to the break, in which the rain started to fall. And I'm afraid that didn't relent, and the last session of the day was lost. Leicestershire then have it all to do on day 3 to stay in this contest, and to do the second division's chasing pack some favours. They'll go again on 47 for 2, a massive 520 runs adrift.